Welcome to the Phase 2 walkthrough of the National Disaster Resilience Competition. Our purpose today is to familiarize you with Phase 2 at a general level, including changes that we've made to the NOFA. We want you to be aware of the schedule and new deadline, and we're going to provide some links to additional information. Your presenters today are Jessie Hanforth-Combe, me, the Deputy Director of the Office of Block Grant Assistance.
And I'm Daniela Rigoni, Acting Director for the Office of Economic Resilience here at HUD. You may be aware already that HUD provides extensive support for resilient disaster recovery. Since the year 2000, HUD has allocated more than $45 billion in Community Development Block Grant disaster recovery money in order to support communities in their response and recovery from disasters. HUD wants to continue to invest these dollars not just to help communities rebuild, but to do so in a way that makes them more resilient. In part, this is in fulfillment of our commitments under the President's Climate Action Plan, which calls on agencies, including HUD, to help prepare the United States for the impacts of climate change. Today, we're going to focus in on one specific activity, the National Disaster Resilience Competition, and highlight some previous work, the Rebuild by Design effort, which provides the framework upon which the NDRC has been developed. Hopefully by now you're familiar with the Rebuild by Design program. This was developed by HUD under then Secretary Sean Donovan in response to the 2012 Superstorm Sandy that affected the New York, New Jersey region. That project resulted in a very innovative and creative approach to disaster recovery, which ultimately funded 6 unique projects totaling more than $900 million, which are currently in the process of being developed. It reflected extensive collaboration with the philanthropic community, with universities, and across the federal government, and was deeply steeped in the communities themselves. I would encourage you to look at the rebuildbydesign.org website to learn more about each of those projects. There are several overarching themes that you will see as you look through that register of projects, one of which is a relationship between hard infrastructure solutions and softer green infrastructure type solutions. The Rebuild by Design program was innovative in many ways, not the least of which is that intersection between those approaches. It was also innovative in, as I referred to earlier, the partnership between philanthropy and HUD. It was also innovative in the degree to which it used an iterative 2-phase process to help both identify needs and identify solutions to the problems associated with the disasters. And ultimately, one of the hallmark features of the project that we seek to replicate here in NDRC are a very deep citizen engagement in which community residents themselves were asked to identify the needs that they saw emerging from the disasters and how they might be able to participate and conceptualize and ultimately implement the solutions. Rebuild by Design continues to be an award-winning effort. CNN named it one of the best ideas of 2013, and just recently it was acknowledged by an organization for its innovative approaches under the America Competes Act. So please do explore that website and you'll find yourself inspired. The NDRC seeks to pull forward many of those same innovations and apply it at a national scale. As you know by now, nearly $1 billion in CDBG DR funds will be allocated across the country for planning and implementation around resilience. And while that's a very large number, and while we know that it can achieve a great deal of good, really what is at stake are the many more billions of dollars that states and communities invest every day. All of these investments, policy decisions and construction decisions and planning approaches that ultimately lead to water infrastructure or transportation systems, public buildings, housing, parks, all of those are ultimately opportunities for communities, states, regions, and tribes to prepare for a more resilient future. And we hope that the NDRC creates the framework for all communities, not just those participating in Phase 2, to do that. The competition is driven by 6 goals listed here. One is to fairly allocate the remaining funds that were issued under Public Law 113-2, to utilize a science-based and forward-looking risk analysis to address recovery, one that looks not just to the disaster that has occurred, but to future risks that may and will occur. We also seek to leave a legacy of institutionalizing this work to addressing future risks. We hope to not only effect a change upon the communities that receive grants, but also in all of the parties that are involved in the process along the way. That speaks both to the organizations that are involved in putting applications together, as much as it does to the federal agencies that are a part of this process in both the design and the implementation. Another goal is to provide resources to communities to help plan and implement disaster recovery that makes them more resilient to future threats while improving the quality of life every day for communities. These are investments that we hope not just help the community on the day in which their worst disaster occurs, but that actually enrich life and improve the economy for the local community every single day until then and beyond. A fifth goal is to fully engage stakeholders about the impacts of climate change and to develop strategies that lead that community towards resilience. We have baked into this competition several signals and points to be awarded that recognize deep and strong stakeholder engagement at all levels. We hope that that is something that is carried forward in the applications that we see for Phase 2 as well. And finally, this competition seeks to leverage substantive investments from the philanthropic community. I'll talk about some of the details associated with our partner, Rockefeller Foundation, later, but nevertheless, there are many opportunities for philanthropies to be involved in the project design at the community level, as well as in the execution of the overall program that we'll describe today.
Hey, this is Jessie again. As you know, we are in a 2-phase competition, and now we're about halfway through the competition in entering into Phase 2. The application deadline for Phase 2 will be October 27th, 2015, and that's going to be when your applications will be due to HUD.
Phase 1, as you hopefully know by now, it was the framing round. It was the period of time in which we asked communities to look at the challenges that they face, at the risks that they are likely to be faced with in the future, and to identify their vulnerabilities, to figure out what are the community development objectives that they seek to achieve through this resilience effort, to identify their team and the partners that they will need to execute the plan, to identify the threshold requirements and satisfy the threshold requirements that HUD has set forth, to consult over and over again with stakeholders about how they will develop that plan, and then finally to articulate that in the form of an idea or concept that is shored up and strengthened by a long-term commitment that has been made by the community. Phase 2 will be different from Phase 1. As I mentioned before, RBD was an iterative process. This too is an iterative process. We are inviting applicants to Phase 2 to submit a proposal for a project that will be rooted in the Phase 1 framing and idea that has been developed so far. It will be critical that the project is demonstrated to be feasible. We will ask for a benefit cost analysis for several of the very large or multi-county projects. We will ask that the community, the applicant, takes and continues to commit to resilience-enhancing actions that will, again, strengthen the competitiveness of their proposals and ensure that there is a long-term win occurring in the community, irrespective of how the Phase 2 application fares. And finally, we're looking for applicants to extend resilience beyond the actions and the areas identified specifically in the Phase 2 application. We hope that leveraging and using a broader geography, as well as developing a raft of long-term commitments by the applicant, will ensure that the investment that we make with our CDBG DR dollars actually lead to a ripple effect across a broader swath of citizens. I suspect that by tuning in, you're already somewhat convinced of the value of applying, but let me reiterate it here. We think that you should apply for Phase 2 in order to pursue local, physical, social, and economic resilience. We hope and expect that you will focus on the most vulnerable populations and sectors and use this opportunity to do all that can be done to protect them. We hope that you will find value in competing and learning with a national cadre of communities, and we expect that some of our nation's greatest lessons around resilience will emerge from this competition, and we hope that you want to be a part of that pool. We hope that you are attracted by the opportunity to learn about resilience with a broad range of technical support from both across the federal government as well as from our philanthropic partners. There will be a parallel independent philanthropic technical assistance and capacity building effort, which you will be able to avail yourselves of. And ultimately, this is the implementation round. This is where we really get down to the nuts and bolts of how this is going to make your community look different. So we expect that if you've tuned in, you've already completed your phase 1 application successfully, and you have a phase 2 invitation from us. Congratulations. We're very pleased. We hope you are too. We expect that by now you know what design thinking is, and you will continue to iterate your proposal in consultation with the many stakeholders that you've identified. Again, especially the most vulnerable populations in your state or your region, as well as with the appropriate experts that you've identified or perhaps that have been identified in partnership with Rockefeller. We expect that by now you want to capitalize on the opportunity to propose a project that arises logically from the phase 1 framing that you've developed. And we think that you already consider climate science and the likely effects of climate change and understand that historic trends alone will not help you resolve the challenges that you are likely to face in the future. Finally, we understand that you know the difference between mitigation and resilience and recognize that both are critical, both play an important role, but they are not the same thing. With that, I will turn it over to my colleague, Jesse.
Well, now we're going to get down to the nitty-gritty about how you apply. Now, with all of these webinars, we've given you the caveat that, of course, anything we say here is general, not as specific as the NOFA, and if we say something that doesn't match the NOFA exactly, the NOFA is going to prevail. Caveat ended. So that said, you need to go to grants.gov and get the NOFA, which has been republished, plus all the appendices, and we'll be posting instructions for that because we know that for some reason grants.gov likes to hide the appendices. The CFDA number is 14.272, and you're going to read the NOFA and follow the directions. We want you, if you haven't already, to connect to the CDBG and CDBG-DR mailing lists and with our technical assistance resources at the website on the screen. We send out messages about the webinars, upcoming webinars, and we're going to have quite a few, and other notes whenever we update the NOFA, for example, which we're hoping to not do again, through these means. We're expecting you to go and sign on your partners and connect with experts. Consult again with your stakeholders, including individual citizens. Recrunch your data, strengthen, reform your conclusions, and go find a compelling phase 2 project that arises from your phase 1 framing. Respond to the factors, and in phase 2, unlike in phase 1 where we told you that some of the things wouldn't apply to you, in phase 2 you need to respond to all the prompts. If something's not applicable, you're going to have to expressly say that, but respond to all the prompts in phase 2. And then you're going to submit a phase 2 application by the deadline. All right, this one all of you are very familiar with, the most impacted and distressed area with unmet recovery needs. The CDBG NDR funds that are going to be awarded after this competition may only be used to address unmet recovery needs, including the related resilience needs of the most impacted and distressed areas located in eligible counties. So this is a participation threshold, but we expect best applications to reach further and to reach to recovery or resilience needs in surrounding areas, regions, the state, multi-state regions. We want you to review the webinars on this threshold, especially the ones toward the end of phase 1, and review the detailed comments that were enclosed with your phase 2 invitation. Okay, let's talk about the deadline for phase 2. If HUD sent you an invitation letter after phase 1, your phase 2 application will be due October 27th, 2015 for the 40 eligible applicants invited into phase 2. We reissued the NOFA to restart the clock on grants.gov, and we made some phase 2 clarifications. Please read the NOFA carefully. We updated several sections. There is a document included with the zip file that you can download that tells you what the main changes were, And we did a lot of formatting changes to make it read better, and so for you'd be able to spot the things that you must submit. So what's in phase 2? What are the things you need to read? There's the Notice of Fund Availability, the NOFA, and it has appendices. Appendix A is your program and post-award requirements, and you're getting closer to that. Your project is going to have to comply with the post-award requirements, so if you haven't read Appendix A yet, now's the time. There's a list of qualified counties. Those of you with partners are going to need to have, for each partner, if you want us to consider their capacity, in the capacity factor, we need a partner letter and a partner agreement in phase 2, and they need to be executed and submitted. There are phase 2 instructions for requesting waivers of various things: eligibility, national objectives, overall benefit, and the 2-year schedule. Think seriously about these. They're not limited by page limits, but you want to get your requests in with your application if at all possible. There's certifications, and we've updated the directions because we realized that our directions didn't match what grants.gov made you all do. There is the same mid-earn criteria. They have not changed. There's instructions and the checklist form. For those of you who are proposing projects that are going to be in more than or 2 or more counties, or have at least $10 million of CDBG NDR funds in them with an overall $50 million project size, you're going to be doing a benefit cost analysis. The benefit cost analysis guidance has also been updated. It matches closer to what RBD, the Rebuild by Design guidance, is going to be, and we'll be working on that. Remember, the goal of this is to show HUD that through mostly quantitative, but also some qualitative analysis, you're going to show us that the benefits of what you're proposing are at least equal to the costs. There's a consultation summary that you'll be updating, your phase 1 consultation summary, and the crosswalk checklist, which is really the table of contents. We're going to keep using the general section from 2014, and because you might have to dig for that on grants.gov, we're going to find a way to make it available on our webpage as well. Here's a reminder about the geography of resilience. Many of you have seen this before if you've been following along in the webinars. But here's the rule of thumb, and I want you to keep this in mind. At a minimum, in every factor, discuss whatever the factor is asking for that relates to your mid-earn area. Then discuss your NDRC overall proposal area if it's different or larger. Be real clear to tell us the mid-earn part and then move bigger. So on phase 2 mid-earn, you should update and resubmit your phase 1 target areas for phase 2. Everybody did very well in phase 1. We were greatly encouraged by what happened on mid-earn, but it still wasn't perfect, so update and resubmit your phase 1 target areas, see the previous mid-earn guidance and your letter, and you may add or change areas within limits. This is in the FAQs, but also give you the exact NOFA language, which is that your area for phase 2 must be substantially the same or inclusive of the geography you discussed in phase 1. Obviously, it could be iterative, and if you had some of your geography not accepted that you pitched for mid-earn, we are talking about the geography that you discussed in phase 1, not the geography that HUD accepted. If you can iterate and get that geography, do your supporting documentation, then you can come back with that geography. So on vulnerable populations, which you may have noticed we feel really strongly about, we want to make the point that your community is only resilient if the weaker links in your community, social, economic, whatever they are, physical, are resilient. A lot of you understand this about the physical links, but haven't really got it about the economic and social. The NOFA definition of vulnerable populations are populations that have difficulty accessing resources or information that they need to recover. So don't leap to solutions. Completely figure out what all your problems are by talking to everybody, including the vulnerable populations, and tell us what they said and how it changed your proposal.
Let me just jump in here to amplify this point. I think we all understand that families that are hovering around the poverty line are most directly impacted when a natural disaster, for example, hampers their ability to get to work, to have employment, or if damages results in construction that needs to occur to their home and the lag time that can occur in order to allow them to rebuild. For those households, in some cases, it can mean the difference between having a home or being homeless. It can mean the difference between financial stability and instability. Please go out and talk to folks who you think might fit this category of whatever stripe income level they are, and consider what their needs are, what their needs have been articulated as with regards to the past disaster, and looking forward to future risks. What might be some of those same challenges that would emerge, and how can you systematically begin to soften the blow, to put in programs or policies or plans that would mitigate some of those very dramatic shocks to that community in particular.
I agree. And if you can get really creative and find a way to bounce forward, even for your vulnerable populations, we'd be very interested. So ineligible activities, there really are some things that are ineligible. So proposing eligible activities is a responsibility of the applicant, and it's a threshold requirement. However, HUD did reserve the right, if you try to classify the eligibility of an activity and we don't think you got it right, we can actually write back to you and say, submit a waiver request, or, we built a little iterative stuff in there because we know that you're going to be being innovative and some things may not fit exactly. But it is a responsibility for you to review for eligibility and explain the eligibility. I believe it's going to be in Exhibit B in your submission. So see the NOFA cross-cutting section and the Appendix A for the requirements, and there are listed ineligible activities that aren't going to be very familiar to regular CDBG grantees, but they're not going to be unfamiliar at all, I think, to some of our FEMA and maybe NOAA grantees. So see Appendix E also for the complete waiver instructions. All right, the Phase 2 factors, the real meat of the matter. Capacity is 20 points maximum, 14 points minimum. That means there's a scored threshold inside the capacity factor. Need extent of the problem is 20 points. Soundness of approach is 40 points, with 25 as a scored minimum. Leverage is 10. Long-term commitment is 10 with a 2-point minimum. And then there'll be a benefit cost analysis that's required for covered projects. We call it BCA, and it's not scored for points. So factor 1, capacity. This is going to be very familiar to those of you who've been in competitions pretty regularly in the past. Past experience of the applicant and your partners. Remember, the partner capacity is only considered if we have a letter and an agreement for that partner. And there's a statutory limit that you can't delegate your inherently governmental responsibilities related to the management of the funds themselves. So your lead agency needs to be responsible for oversight, policy development, and financial management. And if you are selected for award, we're going to be asking for additional documentation on that before we actually sign grant agreements. We also want you to give you the management structure, and that's 10 points. And we want to remind you particularly to submit an organization chart along with your narrative and your references. So on factor 2, there are 5 points for unmet recovery and target geography. And I don't want you to be thinking that just because it's just 5 points that you should leave it on the table, because I'm not allowed to tell you the scoring yet, but we have a competition on our hands and you should be really working on all of these. You want to update your Phase 1 response to clarify your mid-earn recovery and resilience unmet needs. Then cover the resilience and recovery needs of your overall NDRC proposal geography if it's not identical to the mid-earn areas. And you can cross-reference and summarize from your mid-earn response the same as you could in Phase 1. All right, within need, one of the narratives that I know is worrying people is this resilience needs within recovery needs, which is for 8 points. We have restructured that section to try to make it clearer. And so what you're going to do is you're going to apply at least 2 resilient approaches to the example of the disaster you had. For example, if we had had this levee built before the disaster, or if we had done these flood buyouts before the disaster, what would have happened? This is classic Monday morning quarterbacking for those of you who aren't averse to a sports metaphor, and it communicates with citizens extremely well. We want you to think about this. Use the required formulation and support it with science and data. And the required formulation is a sentence that said, we had a disaster that affected these individuals this way, these organizations this way, this business this way, and for this cost. And then if we had this resilient approach, it would be affected this way, this way, this way. And then tell us what your backup is. And then the second part of this is to estimate looking at that, give us a ballpark estimate of the total resilience needs in the community that you're focusing on. What are the things that you're going to need to do? How much would it cost to go in the next 2 years, 10 years, 20 years, whatever your time frame is? And give details about your vulnerable populations and your demographic and economic trends. What's going to happen over time that affects your resilience needs? And describe factors in the community. We're looking for policies and things that are contributing to or hindering resilience. What are your barriers to resilience, if you want to use that term? And in fact, the factors contributing to may end up cross-referencing factor 5, the long-term commitment. That's possible. Then we're going to talk about appropriate approaches, and we realize that people were also a little confused about what this is because we moved it from the soundness of approach factor to the need factor for phase 2. But this is where you update your phase 1 framing, idea or concept. Tell us what are the CDBG NDR eligible things, the ineligible things, but what is your phase 1 framing, idea or concept? Don't go to the project level. Don't make the pitch here. That's going to be for the next factor, soundness of approach. And as we pointed out, that was 40 points. This is one narrative responding to the numbered topics, essentially an outline that we provide in subfactor A of soundness of approach. The scoring considerations for subfactor A, you're going to be scored based on whether your project you lay out and your framing correspond in a clear, thoughtful, and compelling way. Whether your proposal demonstrates that it clearly and significantly will increase resilience to current and future disasters in the mid area, the most impacted and distressed area, and beyond. You're going to have to reach beyond the most impacted and distressed area with leverage or other actions that we can't fund in order to pick up all 10 points here. And also, we want to know that your approach is either a model, it's replicable, or it's holistic, and we're actually going to be asking for the top number of points here. We're going to be asking for you to tell us what's the mechanism that's going to make it replicate if it's successful. So your response to this factor must evidence decreased risk to vulnerable populations and improved resilience, and provide us 4 values. I put metrics here, but it's really values to track for each proposed project. So the metrics or values, you can go look at Appendix H BCA instructions to pick up more information about this, which means that even those of you not proposing covered projects actually need to read Appendix H. There's a resilience value. So what is going to be the outcome in terms of resilience of your project? What is the environmental value? What is the social value? Because we know that now that social cohesion is a really critical measure that shows whether communities will recover or not. The economic value. At least one value, one metric in each category for each proposed project, regardless of whether it's a covered project. And outcome versus output values will be considered more highly. We'll talk about that a little more. So for a soundness of approach, your responsive factor must describe your CDBG NDR projects or programs and the alternatives you considered. Establish how the proposal responds to and addresses your unmet recovery needs and any other framed needs that you have, community development objectives, eligibility, and national objective. Obviously, here you can cross-reference your Exhibit B. Your response to the factor must address current and future risks. How and how much are you going to increase resilience? You see, again, we're very much interested in numbers and supporting documentation. We want to know how your vulnerable populations and the businesses that serve them will benefit, and how you're going to meet the Section 3 requirement, which I know all of you are familiar with. We want to know specifically how your proposal represents a model and describe the mechanism for sharing or replicating if it's successful. Establish your project feasibility and effectiveness. We're actually looking for design feasibility and effectiveness, not your ability to carry it out here. We want you to describe the feasibility and effectiveness, indicate the level of protection, expected useful life. What are your design standards? And what are you going to use to support the feasibility of your project? And we want you to estimate needed maintenance resources and indicate the source, because CDBG NDR can't pay for it, and we don't want to build something that falls down. Just have an investor's problem with that. We want you to describe your reasonable consultation and any alliances and how your proposal fits into that. And we really love the optional maps, drawings, and renderings that we got as part of phase 1, so they're also part of phase 2. Okay, so the additional things for soundness of approach: if you have a covered project, you'll have a benefit cost analysis, and we have webinars coming on BCA, including some that give you guidance from other federal agencies who do them regularly. And you must identify scaling, scoping, phasing opportunities, and your priorities. HUD reserved the right to adjust requested funding downward. So it's optional to tell us what your priorities are, should we do that, but it's probably a pretty good idea. Okay, here are the rest of the points for soundness of approach. The program schedule, and we want you to give us the milestones. It's not a lot of points, but we really expect you to work on the schedule, and we're going to hold you to it if you get selected for award. The budget needs to be complete and cover your CDBG NDR assisted program or project, including direct leverage at the DRGR level of detail. And the NOFA now gives you a link so you can go find the DRGR guidance and take a look at that, although I believe all of the phase 2 invitees have DRGR access already. Describe how you determine the budget. Describe how you're going to ensure cost effectiveness and that the costs are in line with industry standards and that they're appropriate for your project scope. How are you going to hold to your budget? And in attachment B, when you submit, include a sources and uses statement for each proposed project with CDBG NDR as a source and its uses identified separately if you have leverage, which I think most of you will. We're going to be giving some additional points also for consistency with other planning documents. This lists 2 of them. I believe that the NOFA is also including SIPS plans for DOT now. So this is the consolidated plan, FEMA's hazard mitigation plan, or your states. So benefit cost considerations, just the real quick and dirty on them. Covered projects, we talked about the size, at least $10 million of CDBG NDR investment in a project that's $50 million or more, or if it's multi-county. The guidance for the BCAs in Appendix H acknowledges and allows you to submit a BCA you did for another agency, but you're going to have to add in the community development social objectives better, the things that we're asking for specifically. And note here that if you're proposing something large enough to set off an extended environmental assessment or environmental impact statement, this can meld, the consideration of alternatives for BCA can meld with your environmental review requirements and your environmental review record requirements. So, bring your environmental specialists in early. That'll help at a lot of levels. Our preference, and this is a change, our preference is for a BCA at a project rather than a program level, but we've decided to allow a BCA at the program level. And you need to read this carefully if you're considering doing this. If it's at a program level, you need to provide us the detailed project or activity BCA criteria that you will use. They have to comply with our guidance, and you need to show us in your schedule, you need to build time for this additional project level review into the schedule, and you will probably get a grant condition that holds you to this within a set period of time. We're not going to let it go on forever because these funds have, a TikTok going on them, and they are going to turn into a pumpkin at midnight. Okay, factor 4, leverage. So we said there's 10 points here. We're looking for firm commitments to the CDBG NDR assisted project and supporting commitments that are supporting your NDRC overall proposal. So you can get up to 10 points based on the percentage of leverage to grant funds requested. We've changed this based on quite a lot of comments that we got and also the experience of some of our sister programs in HUD with using the method we had chosen. And it's now one table and completely based on percentages. If you can triple your grant in a metro area or double your grant request in a non-metro area, you can take all the points. If points are awarded for leverage and you win a phase 2 award, HUD is going to hold you to the amount committed. So if you have a source fall through, this also goes to the question that's asked, what are you going to do if a partner goes away? That's asked in the capacity section. You need to think about it here. If somebody doesn't come through with your leverage money, even if you have what we think is a firm commitment, what are you going to do to be able to hold to the amount committed? So, factor 5, regional coordination and long-term commitment, although we hit regional coordination almost everywhere in the NOFA now. For each long-term commitment, you must have a metric that has a baseline, a goal outcome, an effective date, and duration. This is not project dependent. Our phase 1 scoring was phase 1 level, 30,000 foot level, but you're at the project level now, and we expect your long-term commitments to snap into focus also. So an action, a long-term commitment is an action. So it's in addition to your CDBG NDR assisted project, not the result of it. The goal is a measurable outcome of an action. We are not looking for the acres of marshland only. That's an output. We want to know the number of structures this is protecting or some outcome measure. The endangered species will be saved or something like that. It's not a milestone of just getting legislation passed, but how many people will be safer because that legislation was passed over what period of time. So your goal also must include the duration of the effect that you expect from your change. We want to know the effective date of implementation, and there's a time window for that, of course. For the effective date of implementation is after your qualified disaster, and if you have more than one, after your earliest one, and within 1 year of the phase 2 award announcements. If you have a covered project, you must incorporate consideration of the effects of your long-term commitment, the benefits and the costs in your BCA to get points in factor 5 for the commitment. So remember that. If you have to do a covered project, remember the benefits and costs of your long-term commitment. Go in there. This is strongly to your benefit, so please pay attention in this direction. The scoring considerations for factor 5, one long-term commitment inside your mid-earn area is 1 point. More commitments, regional commitments or effects, significant improvements in resilience, how you can build up for additional points. And the threshold here is 2 points, not 1 point. Long-term commitment categories, we got some really interesting ones where we, in the general category of embed NDRC lessons learned, things we didn't expect, and we're going to be really psyched if people can, carry through on those. You can take legislative action, you can raise standards, you can update or align more plans, you can dedicate funding for resilience, and you can improve small business, small landlord, renter credit, and you can make sure insurance everything's insured that can be insured. So what do you win? We've talked about this a little before. We're holding at the minimum NDRC grant amount is still $1 million, and the maximum NDRC grant amount is $500 million. The reserve pool was $30 million that may go to non-selected applicants that pass all the thresholds and demonstrate unmet recovery needs. A decision has not been made on that yet, and HUD will issue a separate Federal Register allocation notice at some point dealing with that.
Once again, we're very pleased to have Rockefeller Foundation as our partner in implementing this program, just as they did in the Rebuild by Design competition. Rockefeller has really been a critical partner to us in supporting you all, getting you through phase 1 and helping you to be successful in phase 2. In phase 1, Rockefeller Foundation offered, as you may recall, a series of resilience academies for the eligible applicants across the country. And I think that you probably would agree with us that you came out of those academies understanding resilience and the data available to you in exploring your own approach to resilience far better and far stronger than you did entering those academies. They intend to do something similar for phase 2, and we look forward to more details coming soon, and we'll share that with you when we learn it.
So we're going to leave you with this screen about the other information and other technical assistance you can get. We're going to be having a webinar series, and we'll stand the FAQs back up. We've better organized the ones from phase 1, and we'll be starting the phase 2 FAQs. And of course, you can always email your questions to resilientrecovery@hud.gov, where there's a team of us now who are standing by to try to answer your questions as quickly as we can. Related to resilience and climate change, we have information on our website. Other federal agencies have launched resilience websites, and I believe Rockefeller is going to be launching a resilience exchange website that I think you'll find very useful, that includes not just U.S. but international information. And then CDBG-DR information is available if you want to see what it looks like in DRGR, since you're going to be coming to that level of detail. DRGR has a site called DRGR Public, where anything that was in the site the day before is made public. So whatever grantees submit to us about their projects and activities for live CDBG-DR grants is available for you to explore every day on DRGR Public, and it'll pop right up if you just Google it, but here's the website. So thank you very much.